Hey guys, and welcome to a sunny London. Last time I was here, it was rainy and dreary and quite miserable, but I'm very fortunate to have this incredible weather, and I'm very fortunate to bring you a review of the brand new 2018 Audi A7. Here is the car right here. Now, of course, I've got a right-hand drive car, but I do have a 55 TFSI petrol engine, which is what we will get in our market. Now, what that translates to is a 3-litre V6 putting out 335 brake horsepower and 369 pounds-foot of torque, and that's from as little as 1,370 RPM right up to 4,500 RPM. So a very flat torque curve there, good enough to give you a 0 to 100 acceleration of just 5.3 seconds. Now, it is quattro, but it is new quattro, which means that it's front-wheel drive until you need the extra grip, say on a surface like this, and then the full quattro kicks in. It's mated to a 7-speed dual clutch automatic, and we know how good those are. This is the S-Line version. Here in the UK, it starts from £57,000, and this being the press car, they've loaded it with options, including £2,000 for the air suspension and £5,000 for the stereo system. What you're wondering is about our market. It is on sale, it is there now, and prices over there for the 55 TFSI are starting from 379,000 dirhams, which is about $103,000. Now, I know at first glance, particularly in this light and in this color, you can't really see the lines that well, but believe me, first glance it looks like the Audi A7, but when you look at it closely, it's got a much sharper suit on. There's a wider grille at the front, more angular lines, it's got a nicer profile. Of course, it has those frameless windows on the doors to give it that real coupe sporty feel about the whole car. And they've reprofiled the back. It's got a very clean and neatly done rear end as well, with this nice pinch top that includes a full-length LED with 13 light elements that do this whole song and dance routine every time you lock and unlock the car. It's quite extraordinary. Now, this car, of course, is actually based on or it's more closely related to its big brother, the new Audi A8, which I reviewed earlier last year, I think it was. And that car is, of course, packed full of driver's aids and autonomous drive technology, as is this car, but I won't go into too much of that. What I will tell you a little bit about is that it's got MHEV, which is a mild hybrid electric vehicle form, which means that it can actually recoup some electric power under braking and deacceleration and then put that to use. In fact, what it can actually do is, you know those stop-start things that you get in cars when you come to a stop, it turns the engine off to save fuel? This can actually do that even whilst it's rolling at up to 22 kilometers per hour, which is quite extraordinary. So, and also very good for fuel efficiency, which in a market like this would be very important. Price here for fuel is a little bit more expensive than what we're used to in the UAE. Stop complaining. Anyway, despite the sexy looks and the sleeker profile, it is still a very practical car, and we'll look at that practicality, and as ever, starting with the boot. So let's see if I can open it by doing this. It worked. It takes a while. Never normally works on camera, but it worked that time. So as you can see, a massive boot here. There's 535 liters of space here. And if you fold down the seats, which are pretty much flat folding, split folding of course, 60-40, but then you fold all the way down, it's I think 1,390 liters of space. And I have made use of all of that space because I had to move some storage recently, and I found it surprisingly easy to load up and unload. Not too much of a lip here to get stuff over, and a pretty low entry point as well. Very, very long and wide. Underneath here, you have some just nicely neat laid out tools and stuff like that. There's a compartment over there. Check out these LED strip lighting and these little hooks here to hang your bags and stuff like that. There's also a little power supply here. So yeah, completely retains its practicality. And this car is actually longer as well. So how does that impact the rear legroom? Well, it's time to find that out. There we go. So you may have noticed I decided to come into the other side of the car rather than that side as I normally would, because of course the driver's side is here, and this seat is set for my driving position. I'm 6'2" and I always like to sit behind myself to see if I can fit, and in this case I certainly can. Like I said, check this out. This seat is set for me. I've got tons of knee room, no problem at all, plenty of wiggle room for the feet, and even down here, no real issues, nothing there, and it's quite soft actually down there. Actually, it's actually cushioned. So that's really thoughtful. So that won't hurt at all. Very nicely done here. Look at this lovely stitching on the doors, but of course interiors on Audis, you know, they're always amongst the best, aren't they? AC vents over here. and AC vents down there, and additionally a full set of climate control buttons on this touchscreen. This car is all about touchscreens, as you'll see in the front. You don't get the haptic touch. I'll tell you more about haptic touch in the front, but you do get a little click, so you get the impression that you're hitting a button. Down there, the two USBs, the power supply over here, and this is an armrest that folds down with a little compartment inside, Isofix Chelsea anchor points, of course. The headrest is adjustable and it's so much more comfortable once I put it up down here. There are reading lights up here, check those out. And generally very, very comfortable, very spacious. I mean, that extra 21 millimeters of legroom has certainly helped. It's certainly very evident in here. And, you know, to an extent, it's almost like, why would you need an Audi A8, you know, unless you're really trying to make an impression. And of course, you've got more gizmos and gadgets, more luxury stuff in the back of an A8. But otherwise, most people will be very happy in the back of this as I am. But I'll be even happier once I get into the front. Here we go, check this out. How space age and futuristic is this? Look at this cabin. Now, this is, I would call it an Audi A8 light. In fact, it is literally lighter. It's about 100 kilograms lighter compared to that car, hence the fractionally faster acceleration time. But all digital, that's all digital. This is digital, so just like the A8, it's got these two screens now. And let me turn it on, and then you can see that one's already come on, but let me turn it on and hopefully you can see this startup routine for this car. And there you got the screens coming on there. And it does actually play that music every time you start it up. So at the beginning of a movie or something like that. There you've got, this is haptic touch. So when you press it, you actually feel, you have to actually press it and you feel it and you hear it. And one thing I want to show you, so for example, if you go into navigation, there's navigation. And say I want to put in a destination. So I've got that. Down here, you'll see, now you can have a keyboard down here, right? Like that. Or you can actually write it in. Now, the trouble with this car is that I will have to use my left hand to do it. L. O. So there you go, and it does do it. Now, the advantage is that obviously in our market, we are on that side, and so to write on it, we're using our right hand. It's much easier. Having said that, I do kind of miss the MMI. The MMI knob thing is now gone. We don't need that anymore because we've got these two screens. So some of you that are used to Audis might miss it. I love the design of this. Very Spartan. Like I said, it's all these screens here. There's a few buttons. That's for the camera, which actually is really good. You press it and straight away you got 360 surround. You got your stop start there. You got your electronic brake there. That's your gear shift lever. Still struggle with the getting into reverse when I want to do it quickly. Two cup holders over there. You got a cubby box over here. Inside the cubby box, you got two USBs. I think there's two in the back, two in the front. There's four altogether. SD card and a SIM card plus wireless charging over there as well. I love this design. I love this sort of deck here, but keeping it clean might be a different matter. I do like this as well. It's kind of soft plastic. It's very, very nice, but you know, and then this soft dash up here. The screen actually ends here, although this is all piano black. Its screen is here and here. That, of course, is also digital. And, of course, it does all the usual virtual cockpit stuff that we've now seen in Audi, so I won't go into too much detail. You've got your stereo remote there. You've got your remote for the trip computer up there, so I can go through this stuff as well, you see, like that. And over here, no knobs or buttons for the lights. You actually got these, well, they're kind of buttons, but they're sort of touch screeny type buttons. There's your little tweeters for the Bang & Olufsen. What did I say before? Bang & Olufsen, £5,000 stereo system. It is banging, dude. Very, very nice, very comfortable in here, very spacious, and good visibility out, no problem at all with that, really. Very clever car. I think the next thing to do now, take it for a little drive. So here we are, we'll take it for a little bit of a run and see how it is. I mean, to be honest, the performance is plentiful. Not really an issue. Put foot down. I mean, actually pushes you back in your seat. It's very, very good, and the response is very good as well. It's a very, very smooth car. There's not a lot of feel in the steering. I wouldn't say this is a sports car. I suspect they're holding that back for the S7 and the RS7 versions. I can't wait to try the new RS7. The old one was one of my very favorite Audis. But I think with this car, they've concentrated on refinement, comfort, sophistication, and an ease of driving. I mean, handling-wise, the body control is pretty good, but remember, this has got the air suspension on it, and I think the ride is actually on this car is probably a little bit better than the standard one, so it's probably a feature to go for. But it's fairly precise, not really an issue at all. Handling it, I would say, is competent and very grippy. But like I said, I mean, it's not like darty or anything like that. Overall, it's a very comfortable car to be in. It's a very satisfying drive. It's one of those cars where you could just drive it all day long. I haven't done a long journey in it, but I imagine a long journey would be an ideal scenario for this car, and it would just glide along serenely and effortlessly, or, you know, playing some amazing sounds on that incredible stereo that you have up there. Air conditioning works really well, and yes, I have been using air conditioning in the UK because it's actually quite hot. Temperature outside at the moment is what, 22 degrees centigrade. So, but that works really well, as you can imagine, and this one's got heated seats in it as well. Just a very, very satisfying ownership proposition, I reckon. And all of this fantastic electronics and stuff like that just makes it even better. It's a head turner. People have been giving it admiring glances and a few thumbs up and stuff like that. So definitely it's a car that instantly is imposing and earns you street cred, and creates the right sort of impression. So I reckon this is a really good car. I think another fantastic job from Audi. I think it's going to do really well. Let me know what you guys think of the car, and let me know what you think of the review and of me and anything else if you like. Do please follow us on motoringme.com. Check us out on all of the social media. That's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Oh, and if you're on YouTube, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. And you know what? Check me out as well. I'm on Instagram. I'd love to see you guys there. Thanks so much for watching, and until the next one.